We are with it, and we are live. Good afternoon, everybody. Coach Ali here doing a good afternoon stream for everybody here today. I appreciate all the brothers who are coming into the chat or coming in to watch the stream. If this is your first time here, do me a favor, make sure you go ahead and like the video. If you're going to be joining on the restream, again, welcome. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm here to help bring professional content to you brothers from brothers all over the world, doing amazing things, making impacts in people's lives, and just here to bring that content here to you. And so I have a very special guest of mine. I met him about a year or so ago, I believe, and this brother is doing tremendous things as an entrepreneur, helping people get booked as far as being a speaker, entrepreneur. Helping them get on major stream networks for interviews and that things to that degree. But the number one thing that he does to help you get there is writing books. I said it, writing books. And so when you write a book, you become a expert in whatever industry you're writing a book about. And so I want to bring this brother in to help you guys realize that you guys are experts in certain fields. And if you want to launch your speaking business or become an entrepreneur selling books, then this is the man to talk to. And without further ado, I'd like to bring him in. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to a good friend of mine, Mr. Kelly Cole. How are you today, brother?
I'm great, man. Thank you so much for having me today, man.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure. And again, it's I think it's been about a year and some change since we've met. And I've watched your path ever since then, and you've been at it. You're probably one of the hardest working men I've ever met. And from the type of story that you have, what I'd like for you to share with our audience here in a minute, you just have a drive that's unmatched.
Appreciate it.
Especially for the industry that you're in. So I'll cut the blabbing out. So if you want to just introduce yourself and tell everyone what you do and how you got to this position as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, man. So I go by the publisher, Mr. Kelly Cole, and I specialize in helping entrepreneur speakers and coaches become best-selling authors in 30 to 90 days, even if they hate writing and don't know where to start.
So 30 to 90 days. Mm-hmm. You tell me you can get somebody to write a book in 90 days for someone who hates writing. So you're going to have to explain how you get that done, because that's like telling somebody they can solve Rubik's Cube and they hate mathematical, equations. So
definitely
you got to explain that one for us.
Yeah, and the writing part won't even take 30 days. The longest part of the process is your editing, formatting, all the stuff after you write it. I can teach somebody how to write and finish a book today.
And from what I understand, with your publishing company, you publish over 50 books, correct?
Personally, I publish.
You personally publish 50 books.
Yeah. I've been doing publishing, man, close to 15 years. So I've published over 400 to 500 authors, and that goes from everything from a 16-year-old girl who was born blind to NFL players, NBA players, doctors, apostles, bishops, everybody in between. I just did a children's book for an artistic kid who's blowing up. Like, we're getting calls from everywhere, people wanting to buy his book in bulk. So yeah, man, I've been doing this over 15 years.
15 years. So let's
50 books personally.
Wow. Okay. So let's back it up a bit, because I think what everyone needs to know is how you went from where you started, because you grew up in the housing projects of Chicago, right?
Yeah, man. Cabrini Green, that's where I was born, man. I wasn't raised in Cabrini. I probably left there when I was maybe 8 or 9, but still moved to the inner city of Chicago, which is really no better. But I grew up in the inner city of Chicago, bro. My mom still lives there now. I stayed there until my sophomore year of high school, moved with my dad in Virginia.
Okay. And so what was the pivotal point where you said you've had enough and you want something bigger for yourself? When you were working and you were like, you know what, this isn't the life for me. I want something bigger. So if you want to tell that transitional story, I think it'll make a really big difference so people can understand where you're coming from and why you want to help other people.
For sure, man. So believe it or not, when I was in Chicago, right before I left, my freshman year of football, my freshman team, we actually won the championship. And in that championship game, let me back up. I want to say first it starts with vision. So I'm gonna share
Right.
principles as I share the story. So it starts with a vision of where you want to go. Um, is this a biblical show? Because I want to start preaching or sharing.
No, go ahead, rock with it. I'm with
Sharing
it.
because, like I said, I didn't know what we was going to talk about, but there's a principle in the Bible where, um, man, yeah, we got to go all the way into it, but it's a principle of when it was time for Jacob to leave his father-in-law's house. He came to him and asked him, told him to give him his wives that he was ready to leave. And his father-in-law agreed and said, "Hey, you can leave. What do I owe you?" Jacob said, "You don't owe me anything. Just give me all of the cattle with the spots and the speckles. So give me
Right.
all of the calves that has spots on it and blemishes. That should be my hire." Okay. His father-in-law agreed, right? But then had his son remove all of the cattle with the spots and the speckles. So when it was time for Jacob to leave, there was none there. Now, if you go
Right.
read the story, Jacob did not complain. What he did was he took rods and broke the rods so that spots and speckles would show in the rods, and he placed the rods where the calves would come and drink and where they would come to mate. So when they came to drink, they saw spots, and when they came to mate, they saw spots. So that's what they produced.
Mm,
So stick with me. So
I got you.
principle number one, be careful of what you put in front of you because that's what you're going to produce. And be careful what you let others put in front of your face because that's what you're going to produce. So it's even more important that you watch what you let other people put before your eyes because you're going to produce it. Okay. So you got to
Yep.
start with the vision first. So put before your eyes what you want to accomplish. And I
Absolutely.
didn't know I was developing this principle as a freshman in high school. So playing football before every game, I would go on the mats and I would practice this play. It would just be me. I was a defensive end, and any lineman, their dream is to score a touchdown. Did you play football?
I sure did. I played in college.
What position?
I'll play fullback.
So you always had the ball in your hand, so you can't relate to what I'm talking about. As a lineman, our dream is to carry the ball and to actually score a touchdown. So
Right.
as a freshman, I would practice this play on the mat by myself. I would say, "Hey, the running back's going to run a sweep my way. It's going to be me and him. I'm going to hit him. He's going to drop the ball. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to run a touchdown, and I'm going to do my dance." Right? That was
Did
my
you
dream as a
did you
freshman
practice the
line.
dance too?
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna do my dance. No, so I'm gonna flip
Right.
the end zone because it was a mat. I did a flip and I would get up and I would do my dance. I did this
Right.
before every single game. I think we had 10 regular season games and 3 playoff games. Before every game, I did this, and before long, my coaches and my teammates would be like, "Yo, what are you doing?" I was like, "Look, it's gonna happen just like this. The running back gonna run around. I'm gonna hit him. He gonna drop the ball. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna flip in the end zone, and I'm gonna do my dance."
I love it.
Didn't happen. Game after game, didn't happen. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. I still practice it faithfully before every game. I believed it was going to happen. It didn't happen to the championship game, and it happened just like I envisioned it, just like I practiced it before every game. Me and the running back, 1-on-1. I hit him, he dropped the ball. I ran a 70-yard touchdown, flipped in the end zone, and I did my dance.
Oh wow.
As I was running down the sideline, my teammates, my coaches, everybody was crying because they saw something I envisioned and something that I practiced manifest right before their eyes. And we won the championship. My dream come true. I did my touchdown. I did my dance. So I said all that to say it starts with having a vision, number one, of where you want to go, and then act as if it has already happened. Because you're going to get people going to tell you you're crazy. What you're doing is it's never going to happen. You're going to have people that don't believe. But guess what? I made them all believers by me practicing it and then making it happen.
Wow. And it's funny you say that, because if you hear a lot of people when they make it to the pinnacle of their success, what
Mhm.
the reporters will say, what made you come to this? And they all say the same thing. It started with a vision. If you look at actor and comedian Jim Carrey,
Yep.
said he wrote a blank check for $10 million and put it in his pocket. Just a small
Mhm.
gesture, and he looked at that check every single day,
Yep.
and you see where he is now. And so that vision piece really hits home, and I definitely appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to transition really quickly as we're talking about vision. What was
Yeah.
your vision when you were working the two jobs and you had enough and you wanted to become an entrepreneur?
Perfect. Yep. Perfect transition. Let's keep going. So I'm getting ready to move up to varsity. Of course, I'm excited. My dad comes home and he says, "Hey, we're moving to Virginia." And of course, I'm distraught because I'm getting ready to move to Virginia. We just won the championship. I'm distraught. I'm like, "Yo, this is crazy." Blah blah blah. I move here and they don't even put me in practice. I go from being a star player in Chicago, coming to Virginia. They don't even let me practice. I'm like, "Yo, y'all don't even know what y'all got." Fast forward, I ended up my junior year. I ended up being defensive player of the year. My senior year, first scrimmage, I break my foot, miss 2 games, come back, lead the team in tackles, and still win the most valuable player award. Okay,
Wow.
get a partial scholarship to college, go to college, and find out. That's when I found out I did not love football as much as I thought I did. I thought it was going to be a piece of cake. It was not. I found out I didn't love it. Came home, and 9 months after coming home, I had my first son. Boom. You got to go to work. I started working at Blockbuster. Before long, next thing you know, I'm working at Walmart too. I'm working at Walmart during the day, Blockbuster at night. And if you ever work retail, it gets to a point where enough is enough. You know you're called to more. And granted, I've left some stuff out. My whole life, I had been an entrepreneur. I started my first business at the age of 6 in front of my building. Me and my sister took all of the candy out of our house and we opened up a candy store. Up until that point, I had 2 clothing stores, restaurants. I used to sell DVDs. I was a barber for 10 years. Um, Anything you can think of legally, I've probably done up until that point to find what it is that I ended up doing, which is, digital marketing and marketing on the internet. So one Friday night, a retail right around, I don't know when it was, but it was a Friday night at Walmart. And if you know anything about Walmart on Friday night, pre-COVID, back in the day, I'm talking about early 2000s,
Yeah.
that was more lit than the Super Bowl for most people, especially in a small
Yep.
town. And
Yep.
I came home and I was at the end of my rope. I said, I can't do this anymore. And my wife was like, "Yo, let's watch a movie." And the movie we watched was Pursuit of Happiness. You ever seen Pursuit of Happiness? With
Don't.
Will Smith?
Yeah. I've seen half of it. I never got to the ending, but I've seen half.
I'm done with you, man. Cut me off. Cut the
Hey,
camera.
hey, man, my wife had me watch it ironically after at the end of my work shift. So I watched half of it and fell right to sleep.
Got you. So anyway, so by the end of Pursuit of Happiness, I'm in tears when the guy Will Smith plays a guy named Chris Gardner, and by the end of the movie, when his dream come true, I'm crying and I'm on my knees and I'm like, God, I'm supposed to be your child. When I go to work on Monday, I'm quitting my job and I'm going to trust you, even if my family ends up sleeping in the bathroom, just like Chris Gardner did.
Mm.
Now, I want to paint the picture for you. At the time, I had one product on the internet. It was selling for $25, and I was only selling one a week. Okay,
Mm.
so I go to work on Monday. I immediately quit Blockbuster. I go to Walmart on Monday. As soon as I walk in the building, I get called to the office. Now, it's one thing to quit; it's another to get fired.
Right.
Right? I
Right.
immediately get scared, like, man, what's going on? But I get called to the office. They tell me they want to send me to a shareholders meeting in Arkansas for a week, and I was like, perfect. This is cool. This is gonna give me a chance to put my plan together. Yeah, let's go. Y'all plan for a trip? Let's go. Get me out of the store. I walk into the Arkansas Razorback Stadium, And Chris Gardner is walking towards me, the guy Will Smith played in the movie.
Wow.
So immediately I'm like, thank you, Lord, for the confirmation. Thank you so much. Um, and I was like, yo, I have to do this. Like I have to quit. And I get back and I was like, all right, I'm going to quit. And the Lord told me you can't leave until July 15th. I'm like, July 15th? And I believe that meant I had to stay like another month or so. I come home upset again, tell my wife, like, yo, Lord said I can't leave until July 15th. And I'm upset. We're watching TBN. If you don't know what that is, that's Turner Broadcasting Network. It's a Christian network. And there's there's a bishop on there preaching, Bishop Bloomer. I'll never forget it. He said, the angels of the Lord are doing that thing you want them to do. He said, whatever you believe in God for, that thing is done. And he looked right in the camera. He said, I don't care if it's July 15th, that thing is done.
Wow. If that isn't confirmation, I don't know what is, brother. Like,
so July 15th, 2008 is when I quit my job. One product on the internet, making $25 a week. And you tell me, how do you take care of wife and 3 kids on $25 a week?
you may have to tell me, because I don't have that formula, brother. Like,
man, it was all faith. We couldn't pay rent for 7 months, barely eating. Thank God the lights never get cut off. No internet, no gas. Like I said, barely had food. It was a struggle. We literally struggled for a year. The landlord will come to the back of the door, to the back door, and he would be backing up, scared to ask for his money. I didn't have the money to pay him. I guess he thought I was going to do something to him, but I was opening the door to plead for him not to put us out. And thank God he didn't put us out. But my turning point came a year later. I got invited to a conference in Atlanta, Georgia. Had no money to get there. A guy I worked with at Walmart, his guy, this kid had money. He was only working to do something while he was in college. His parents bought him a new car. He gave me his old broke down car. Now, to paint the picture, it was an old station wagon, a Volvo station wagon. The tail light could not be repaired. It was so jacked up, it could not be repaired. I told my dad, I was like, Dad, I have to go to this conference. My dad gave me $100. I drove to Atlanta with that $100, and I went to, my girl was to sleep in my car. I went to this hotel, and I said, I'm just going to do the swipe and pray. You ever did the swipe and pray?
Yep, several times.
That's where you take for all y'all that's watching, always had money, ain't never, had to struggle. That's where you take all of the cards out of your wallet, your credit cards, debit cards, every card you got. And while the person in front of you is swiping, you praying. That's the old swipe and pray method. And I was able to get a room. And what I learned in that conference, that 3-day conference, I came back home and built a website that sold websites. So I started website flipping. It was called Affordable Sites for You. What I learned in that conference made me 10 grand in 3 months, and I haven't looked back since.
Wow.
That was
10
the beginning.
grand in 3 months.
In 3 months. But it took a year now. It took a year to get to that point. Within that year, I was walking to the library, man, to use my laptop, to watch videos, to watch YouTube videos, to read, and to do this, and to take, free online courses. I didn't have any money to invest in anything, so I was doing anything free I could do to gain knowledge and to gain wisdom and to grow my business on the internet. And yeah, bro, it was crazy. It started right there.
All from a faith-based action. From the one night that you were, you were watching the movie and you prayed that you wanted to be utilized for a bigger vision, and going to that conference and listening to that bishop give you that confirmation, transform into your empire now in 2021. That's amazing. And why your landlord didn't come and kick you out, right?
Why is that?
Man, look how big his shoulders is, man. You should have been doing security. You were a defensive lineman. You a big fella.
Crazy thing though. I mean, I say this as a testimony. I ended up buying that house he was renting to me, and I bought his house. So I
Mm.
own his house, the house I was living in, the lot next to it, the land behind it. I bought it all.
Wow. So now you have rental property. Actually you just purchased one. Was it the end of 2020?
Yeah, that was it. That's what I bought. I bought his, the one that I had was renting, the
Oh
lot
wow,
next to it, the behind it. Yeah, yeah. All started
that's
with a book.
crazy.
All started
That's
with a book.
wonderful,
Yep.
man. You're gonna be definitely a testimony to somebody who's gonna be watching this video. I know there's a lot of brothers who are looking to write books, maybe not know where to go. Like I said, don't like to write, and so
Yeah.
a lot of people have books that you never thought will be authors, and so we can kind of go into it as to how you help people, you know, get an idea for a book and then go from pen to paper and then get it to the hands to other people. How do you break down that process?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell somebody how to get it done. Like they can get this done this weekend. If they started today, they can be finished with their book tomorrow and have something in written form without them actually writing it by Monday morning. How that sound?
Man, it's not like it's gonna cost, but
Yeah,
it,
it may cost you a little bit, but it's not going to cost you what you think it's going to cost. But I'm going to show you how to get the book written and get it done. So this is what you do. All you would do today, if you're going to start today, start with your expertise. What do you know? Start with what do you know? What can you share that's going to help someone else or solve someone else's problem? So what type of how-to information, what type of, or even your story. All right, say you want to do your story. All right, that's your starting point, and you want to write your outline. An outline is simply a grocery list. Just look at it as a grocery list. Write the numbers 1 through 10, all right, and write down 10 things you want to share about that particular topic. All right, and then under each number, I want you to write 5 to 10 questions someone would have about that chapter title. All right, now if you don't like writing at all, turn on Zoom. Zoom is free, right? Turn on
yep.
Zoom, click on your camera, click record, and I want you to talk this out. Simple. So all I want you to do, talk out your outline, talk out the 10 things that you want to tell, talk out 5 to 10 questions under each thing. That's all I want you to do. It's going to give you, it may take you 30 minutes. Okay. Next thing I want you to do, now that you have your outline, hit your boy up, Coach Ali. Hey man, do you got a couple of hours to spare tomorrow, Sunday, in the morning or in the evening? Most of the time, if it's a friend, they'll be like, yeah, man, I can help you. What you want me to do? Have that person just interview you and ask you the questions. That's all I want you to do. After they interview you and ask you the questions, you got a recording, right? Take
Right.
that recording, go to rev.com, rev.com. You're going to upload that video or audio to rev.com. They're going to transcribe it for $1 per minute. Okay, so if it's 60 minutes, it's going to cost you $60. But guess what? In 24 hours, they're going to send you a Word document, and that Word document is your book. Did I just tell you how to finish your book in 2 days?
Sure did.
Bam, you got a
Cost,
book.
cost effective.
Cost effective, and you got a book. They're going to send you a document, 24 hours. Now, all you have to do with that document, clean it up a little bit, take the ums and the ahs out, and then that's when you come to a person like me who's a publisher that has a team that can edit it, format it, create your book cover, and do your distribution. But I just told you how to write a book without writing a single word and getting it done within the weekend. Now, most people, it's harder for them to sit at a computer and type away and write a book. But I just told you how you can speak your book and get it done in 2 days. Anybody can do that. Now, if you don't have a computer, guess what? If you got a phone, you can record it on your phone, upload that file to rev.com.
Yep.
If you can use freeconferencing.com, you can get on a conference line. You can record, get on a conference line for absolutely free. At the end of that call, they're going to give you an MP3. Upload that MP3. All right. Another thing you can do, if you got your phone, get on Facebook Live. tell your story, give out the information, take that Facebook link, upload that to Rev. Guess what? You got your book done. There's so many resources and so many tools that you have no excuse not to get that book done.
Man, I think you just cut out 28 days out of that 30-day project, man. And let me ask you, how did you stumble across that? How did you figure out how to go to rev.com and free conferencing to transcribe your the interviews and then turn that into a book? How'd you stumble across that?
Being in publishing and doing this thing for so long, I learned to pay attention to the questions that I get asked the most. The number one question I get as a publisher, Kelly, I want to write a book, but I don't know where to start. They know where to start, but they just don't have a plan. So I said, hey, let me think of a plan. What would be the easiest way to get them from point A to point B? And I came up with the formula. Very simple. Like, hey, this is how you start. This is how you get it done. Because many starters, a lot of people have books that they've already started. Now with this formula, they're going to be able to get that book finished.
Wow, man! If I would have known that, if I would have met you when my wife and I did that book 5 years ago, man, we would have saved so much time, and we would have wrote 10 more books by that point.
There you go. Now I'm gonna give out the tip of how I've written with the paperback, audio, and ebooks over my time period. So I also do one-on-one coaching. So for marketing and ideas and things like that. So sometimes I'll get a lady who says, "Hey, I just started a cupcake business. Do you have any marketing plans for a cupcake business?" I'll say, "Sure. Let's get on a one-on-one call. I'll walk you through a marketing plan that will fit for anything, but we will tailor it for your cupcake business." All I do is record it. Okay. I record it, I transcribe it, I turn it into an ebook, and I put it up for sale. Why? There's millions of cupcake companies that's going to be looking for a marketing plan for their business, and I can put it up and it creates passive income for me monthly.
Wow. You know what? I don't know why. Actually, I do know why, but I don't know why people don't take advantage of this type of information. And so, with you bringing this to us, a lot of people in this YouTube space are looking to write books, and again, that is such a time saver because people, and I've done it myself. I'm not gonna lie. I wrote my first book, and it took me 10 days, but I'm typing and typing and typing and backspace and typing and typing. So the fact that you're bringing this this type of information to us, basically we could have a whole trilogy series done in a month.
Yeah, you really could,
depending on the topic,
And I'm gonna give you one even better. For some people, what I just shared may be a little hard for them. You can open up Google Docs right now, and Google Docs will type what you speak. You can speak into Google Docs. You can speak into Microsoft Word, and it will type what you speak. What I found is I'm more fluent if I'm not even looking at the words going across the thing, because I want to edit as it's typing, and you don't want to do that. You want to just be able to let it flow and be able to let your content be transcribed. That's how I like doing it.
Absolutely, and really quickly, because I'm here looking in the chat. I have 3 brothers who I know who would make perfect authors.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, all 3 of them are, in the space, and one brother does help people with business, giving people business ideas, especially during the time of the virus. He's been kind of helping people find ways to go through non-traditional routes to make income. The other brother is in the tech industry. Keep it techie. Shout out to you. I know he will make a fantastic author. A really great expert in the IT business. And then my man, David Hughes, who actually would make a great book for men. He talks about the power of semen retention. And so these 3 brothers, I know for a fact, I know they'll make great authors. So where can they find a way to contact you and help get them started?
Definitely. So I can give this to everybody that's watching. I have a free case study where I take you, like I said, how to write a book in 30 to 90 days and become a best-selling author, you go check out that free case study at bestsellerscircle.com. Just go to
That's
bestsellerscircle.com. You go check out that free case study video over there, and it's going to walk you through the process that we talked about. And then if you're interested in working with me, it's going to give you an opportunity to schedule a call with me so we can create a plan on how to get your book done and published and onto the bestsellers list. But that's bestsellerscircle.com. And if you want to connect with me on one-on-one, all of my social media is at Mr. Kelly Cole.
So with that being said, so a lot of people don't understand, and I'm still trying to figure it out myself, is there a committee? How do you get nominated to be on the bestseller list? You know,
Well, it's based on sales. So if we're talking about Amazon bestsellers list, it is updated hourly. So as long as you're selling books, like on your launch day, you can hit the bestsellers list. So it's strictly based on sales. There's no committee. There's algorithms just like for Facebook and Instagram, and it's strictly based on sales. So
so
I've created a formula of how to use the algorithms in your sales and your promotional campaign leading up to your book launch that almost guarantees you hit the bestsellers list.
so even if the book was complete trash, as long as it sells, it can make the bestseller list.
Yeah, there's listen, there are people who are, man, the best at whatever it is that they do, but they're terrible at marketing themselves, so nobody knows about them. There's people that are less talented than someone that's watching this, doing the same thing, making more money than them because they don't know how to market themselves. So it has nothing to do with the content of the book. It has everything to do with the marketing, the strategy, and everything that's behind the book. I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna throw myself under the bus. Not really throw myself under the bus. I just want to tell you that I live by this statement. You don't have to get it right. You just got to get it going. My very first book that hit number one on the bestsellers list and stayed there for 3 days. I mean, number one, not just the list, not just hourly. My first book was about Shark Tank. All right. Everybody should know the show Shark Tank.
Right.
I interviewed Barbara Corcoran and Damon John from Shark Tank. I got them on a conference call, interviewed them, took those interviews, transcribed them, took my notes from the show, transcribed it, created a book that was on the bestsellers list for 3 days. And this is how I did it. I followed that formula that I just shared with you guys. But here's the thing. My editor, I didn't have the team, nor did I have the company. But my editor screwed me. I didn't know nothing about publishing or writing a book. That was my first book, and we had all kind of mistakes in there. But guess what? It was a number one for three days straight.
Wow.
They killed me in the comments, killed me in there, killed me in the reviews. But guess what? People still bought it. Now, of course, when I found out what happened, I got the revision copy made and I revised it, re-uploaded it, and we were good since then. But if you check out the reviews, you would think the book is trash, but people still bought it regardless of the reviews, and it still was a number one bestseller for 3 days.
My goodness. So let me ask you this. I know you said you've interviewed, from professional athletes to a 16-year-old girl who was born blind. What would you say was your most interesting book that you've published for a client, and then the most interesting book you published for yourself?
Interesting, man. It's so many. I'll tell you one of my most recent favorites because it's been heavy on my heart. There was a football player. He went to the University of Virginia. His name is Dennis Haley.
Okay.
He's playing at the University of Virginia. Star athlete. He's crushing it. Everybody knows he's going to the league. Like, it's one of those things.
Right.
He said they were on the team bus. They drove all the way to Florida. They get ready to play Florida State on national TV. He gets off the bus, and the coach is waiting for him. The academic board is waiting for him. They says, Dennis, we need to talk to you. They take him in the room and says, hey, you won't be playing tonight. And he's like, why? He was like, it was just a report. A teacher came forward and said they gave you a grade that you didn't deserve. Listen to this. So a white teacher went to the board and said they gave him a grade. Now, let me make this clear. The teacher said he gave him the grade because he felt sorry for him because he was an African American football player. But
Right.
he just didn't ask for the grade, didn't ask for any special treatment, was a hard worker. The guy decided to give him the grade and then report it to the board. Do you know they took a year away from his schooling? He had to go to court. He had to fight to clear his name and fight to earn his scholarship back and fight to make it through and finish his career out in University of Virginia. And the NCAA had to expunge that. Now, that was sabotage. I don't care what you say. That guy tried to take his career and his life away from him.
He absolutely did. You're right.
So he went to court. He fought it. He was able to get cleared. He ended up graduating and ended up getting. He didn't get drafted, but he ended up making it to the NFL. Then he played 3 to 5 years in the NFL. Went on to have an amazing career in the CFL. But that has been one of the ones recently that has touched me. Now, going back, one of my most inspirational authors I published was that 16-year-old girl who was born blind. And I always share this with people. If she's 16 and born blind and can write a book, what is your excuse? You got all of your limbs, you can see, taste, touch, and feel, and you giving me excuses of why you can't get this done. And here this 16-year-old girl born blind, we did 3 books for her, and you can't get your first one done. I don't want to hear no excuses. Like, there's nothing you can tell me. And now I got this artistic kid who can barely speak. He got his book done. He wrote it himself. He illustrated himself, and he came to me and we published it. But you telling me you got full range of your mind. You can hear, you can see, you can taste, you can touch, and you can feel. And you telling me you can't write a book and you can't get it done? Come on, man. I don't want to hear it. There are no excuses to getting this thing done.
So when people come to you and say, "Hey, I want to write a book," and you tell them what it takes to write the book, and you see them backpedal, is it more of they kind of just want it, or they didn't understand really how much work it would take, even if the steps are simple? Was it kind of just like, I kind of want to do it, or when they saw the success on the other side, they kind of froze and didn't take action?
Yeah, there's a lot of self-sabotaging going on. What I've learned too, going through the process and doing this for so many years, there's a lot of fear that sets in. Like, soon as we get ready to go live, people tense up a lot of times because they're afraid of being judged. They're being afraid of and most of the time we're afraid of our own success. Let's just be real. We have this something in us that we are afraid to be successful, especially if we're quote unquote Christians or have been brought up in the church. It's like you're going to be shunned that you actually want to do better than what you're doing. So there's a fear of something that kicks in with a lot of people that I notice, that they get actually scared of being successful. And it's like,
absolutely.
Even I had to overcome it. Like, creating my first book, man, I was terrified. Like, I was terrified to get on the phone with these folks. I was terrified to go through the process. But once I did it, the more you overcome and the more you do, the easier it gets for stuff like that to happen. So, yeah, man, most of the time it's a fear of success. It's a fear of judgment. It's a fear of what people are going to say, what their family going to say, what's going to be the feedback of, because most people, we're sensitive about something we put out there. Like every person that I've delivered their book to them for the first time, 90% of them, they cry because it's their baby. It's something that they had inside of them that they have given birth to. And when I hand it to them, they cry. So they're afraid of somebody judging their baby. Like, I gave birth to this. How dare you give me a review and say that you don't like it? And how can you really judge art?
Wow. You know what? And really quickly for the guys who are still coming in, make sure you guys like the video for me, fellas. I really appreciate everybody who's coming in this Saturday afternoon. You could be anywhere else, but you decided to be with us today. I really thank you all for joining us. But I just met an author. His name is Patrick Bet-David. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
Okay, so he did an interview on the Roommates podcast, and he discussed this Jewish proverb. And the Jewish proverb is to write a book, plant a tree, and have a son. Because all those things outlast you.
Yeah.
And that's your legacy.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like you've done 2 out of the 3. You do have a son, right?
I do have a son, my firstborn. Yep.
So now that you've been in this business, I mean, it's what, 2021, so what, 13 years?
Yeah. Yep.
What does this mean for you? I mean, you've been this 13 years. You've been an entrepreneur. I mean, you've had the freedom to be in charge of your own finances. But what does this mean for you? And and what does this mean for helping other people create their own legacies? Because books outlast human life.
Definitely.
Go ahead.
No, definitely, because I was pondering this actually a couple of days ago. It's like, man, it's crazy that when you think about, I had this thought that my impact on the world may not even be recognized until I'm not here.
Right.
And what about those people who never got their book out, who never got their product out, who never, like you said, never had a chance to have a son?
Yeah.
Where is their legacy? It got buried with them. So I agree with that statement 100%. That's what the book part. Now, what most people don't realize, the book is just the beginning. The book turns into so many different income streams. And what I've used book writing and owning a book publishing company, I have used that as a vehicle to expand my legacy and leave generational wealth, create generational wealth. Now, this thing started with a book. My publishing company started with that first book. My publishing company allowed me to start investing in real estate. So not only am I going to have the books, I got a son and 2 daughters. And guess what? I'm going to be able to pass down land, multiple properties, and a business and other businesses to them. And it all started from the book. The book was just the vehicle for me to buy real estate. God is not going to create any more land. He's not going to create any more. All of the land is here. All right? I'm going to break that down, what I'm really trying to say.
Go ahead.
And they're already advertising the 2021 Cadillac Escalade that drives itself. That's the 2021. In 2022, there's going to be another one, right?
Yep.
There's not going to be any 2021 or 2022 land. All of the land is here.
Yep.
God ain't create no more. If you're not looking for a vehicle to purchase land and purchase real estate, well, that's what a legacy is. That's generational wealth.
Yep, absolutely.
The majority of the millionaires, they own land and they own real estate. And I'm not saying that it is for everybody. If you're not invested in stock, whatever your thing is, I just can't get into stock. I can't wrap my mind around somebody controlling something that I can't see. If I buy a building or if I buy some land, I can say, okay, my dollars are in that. My money is in those bricks. Okay? Now, I'm gonna give somebody a short formula. If you have a lifestyle, quote unquote, that you want to live, like say for instance, you wanted to live in a mansion. A mansion here that where I'm looking at is, I think it is 1.8 million. Okay, that's in this Virginia, this small little area.
Yeah,
1.8 million. The mortgage on that. Well, first of all, you only got to put about, let's say, $200,000 down. The mortgage is only going to be about $8,000. Right?
Sounds about right. Yep.
If I have 20 income produced properties, right? That's netting me at least $1,000 a month. That means whether I do anything, I'm making $20,000 a month, right? Let's just stick right there.
Yep.
So I can purchase my mansion. I can drive any car I want to drive, pay all my bills, and they're taken care of with my rental income. What else does that leave? That leaves me running a business. That leaves my speaking. That leaves my book sales. That leaves any other income streams that I have for me to be free and live and do whatever it is I want to do with it. That's why I want to own. My goal is to own 100 doors. So I'm making $100,000 a month doing nothing. I'm no
Good
management
idea.
on the property. I got a property manager. So if something break, they call them. They don't call me. Don't call me unless it's on fire.
Right.
I need to
Right.
know. I need to cash in the insurance policy. But if I got 100 units that's averaging me, let's just go lowball it. Let's say it's averaging me, it's netting me 50 grand a month. Who
Yep.
couldn't live off of 50 grand a month?
I know I could.
And you can live very comfortably and you can do whatever it is that you want to do. That's why I believe in real estate and that's why I believe in land, is because it produces passive income and it's generational wealth. When I pass away, I can give it to my sons, my daughters, my granddaughters, and they could drive around the city or drive around the US and say, hey, my granddaddy left me this property, my great granddaddy left me this property, and it goes on and on, man.
So it sounds like you have your next book already ready to go.
I do. It's called Solomon. I mean, I got so many that I got in the pipeline. They're already in the pipeline.
Just you break it down, generational wealth and what that means for you and your children and your grandchildren. I mean, that you take that to rev.com, you just cranked out a book really quick, you
Oh,
know.
it's
I,
finished. Like I said, I have to cut off the ideas because they're so fluent. As you can see, man, I can create books for days and ideas for days, and I actually do that. So I actually build businesses and then sell them to people who are looking for businesses. So I sell virtual real estate as well.
wow.
So if
Wow.
somebody,
Okay.
if one of the guys on here like said, "Hey man, I want to write a book. I don't know. I don't. Man, I have books and stuff ready to go. I can sell them the whole package, and they gone."
Mm. So let's go to the next point.
Yeah.
When it comes to investing in yourself, we've all been to those seminars where they sell you the dream, and then at the end they sell you the price to live that dream.
Right.
Obviously your services are going to cost. And
Yeah.
so what do you tell people when you give your price, whatever it may be, and it may or may not be as steep as what they think it is? How do you get them to understand that this is investing in yourself rather than just paying for a product or a service, I should say?
Yeah, well, it starts off from the beginning. Like I'm going to interview you and see if you like, are fit for my program. So like we don't publish everybody. You have to have number one, be of the right mindset, and I have to actually like you and want to work with you. I don't
Right.
take everybody who has a credit card and say, hey, I can pay whatever the amount is. I have to, because I own the business, I have to like and want to work with you. As you've seen, like if you watch Shark Tank, they sometimes they love the product, but they don't like the person, so they don't
That's
give them.
fair.
It's the same thing with my publishing company. If I don't like you, if I don't feel like myself talking to you, I'm not going
Right.
to take you on as a client. I don't care how much money you got, because
Mm.
it starts with the mindset. So a lot of my friends, we said we're no longer focusing on making dumb people smart. Our focus is on making smart people smarter. Now,
Mm.
don't let that go over your head. I'm not calling anybody dumb. Some people are just dumb for no reason because
No, yeah.
they don't want to grow. They don't want any more knowledge. So I
Right.
don't want those type of people. I don't want to work with those type of people. I don't want those people around me.
Yeah.
Smart people know they don't know it all.
Right.
So they seek information. Those are the type of people I want to work with. They have the right mindset. They want to learn. They want to get better. They know there's things that they don't know. I
Right.
always say I know enough to know that I don't know that much.
Wait, say that
When
one more time.
I know enough to know I don't know that much.
Right.
When I'm in the room with my OGs and with the guys who are making multi-millions, I'm not talking. I'm listening.
Right.
Oh, I'm taking notes. I'm asking questions. I'm not in there trying to say, well, I have a successful book publishing company. We did X amount of dollars this year, and I did this and I did that. I don't care about. I'm taking notes. I'm not. I'm not saying nothing unless somebody asks me a question or how I can add value. If somebody pulls me in the conversation and say, hey, well, Kelly does books, and they say, Kelly, you got to, that's the only way I'm talking. Other than that, I'm quiet. I'm taking notes. I'm not in there trying to prove anything to anybody. I'm telling you, when I'm around OGs, and like I said, they ain't got to be no OG. If I'm around a young person who's smarter than me in an area and knows an area and has an area expertise, I'm taking notes and I'm asking questions. I am not doing the talking.
Right.
Absolutely. The dumbest one in the room a lot of times and the brokest one in the room is the loudest one in the room.
Yep.
We've all heard that.
Yep.
Absolutely. They're the weakest one.
Yep.
It's that one in the corner. Ooh, perfect. Thank you, Holy Spirit. There's a guy when I was working at Walmart. Little old guy, little old white man. He was probably 4'9". He had 3 pair of pants, crease in them. He wore cowboy boots. He had 2 pair of cowboy boots. He had his Walmart shirt, and he would carry around different books every day. I gave him a job. He came to interview. I was managing the wireless department with the phones. He came and asked for a job. I gave him a job. He did a decent. He was okay worker or whatever. One day, me and a couple of other young bucks out there, we out there arguing about becoming millionaires and we're gonna leave here and blah blah blah, all the stuff we're gonna do. And he let us finish. When I came back in the cubby hole, he was like, Kelly, I'm a millionaire. And I was like, Sam, get out of here. You ain't no millionaire, man. You work for me here at Walmart. And he was like, he ain't say nothing. He ain't argue with me. He came back in the next day. He's like, Kelly, come here. I want to show you something. This joker showed me his tax return. While working at Walmart, he made $1.5 million as a gold mining consultant. No, he didn't argue with me. He didn't try to prove nothing to me in front of the people. He just came and flexed. Now, wait a minute. He had more social hardcore. Wait a minute. But he didn't argue about it. He just came and showed me the next day. He was like, yo, check this out. I want to show you something. And then he showed me the pictures of, you ever seen those tubs at Walmart, those plastic tubs?
Yeah.
He showed me a picture of those tubs filled with gold all over his living room, and him and his wife standing in front of him. He was a retired gold miner, and he knew how to mine gold. So people would hire him as a consultant. So as a consultant, he made $1.5 million while working at Walmart. I was like, Sam, why are you here?
He said, my question.
He said, I'm just here to get out of the house. My wife drives me crazy. And I said, what do you do with your I said, well, what do you do with your paycheck? He was like, man, it's direct deposit into my grandson's account. I just do this to get out of the house.
Wow.
Freedom or freedom? Is that freedom or freedom? You can choose to get a job just to get you out of the house to talk to different people. He loved talking to people and he loved to read. He was like 60, 70 some years old. So he came to get a job just to talk to people and read. He wasn't doing it for the money. He direct deposit to his grandson's account.
Wow.
That taught me to never judge a book by its cover. That's number one. And the quietest one in the room is most of the time the richest person in the room.
I can't even fathom just working just to get out of the house because his wife is getting on his nerves. Like that's true freedom right there. And I can only imagine. I can't imagine just to having that type of lifestyle where I could just choose to go to work and just do it just out of my spare time, because he has spare time. He has all the spare time in the world apparently, and you can't beat that.
He became my best friend after that. I started wearing him out as far as just asking him questions about life and about business and how you build a business and how did you do this and how do you get clients or how do they find you, and man, I wore him out. We became best friends, and I wonder if old Sam's still living. But yeah, man.
So what I'll do as we're wrapping up here, I just want to kind of get the projection for the next couple of years. So I know you said you have a couple more books coming out, but what are your major projects that you have that you're working on? Do you have any big clients that you have coming up, that you're working with, or do you have like another project outside of the publishing company that you're working on, or what you got cooking for this year?
Yeah, so we created a whole new division in the publishing company. So still publishing, and I want to share this with people. A lot of times, the reason why most people are not successful, they're doing too many things. Focus on one thing. Okay, what most people do, they hear this thing called multiple streams of income, and they think they need to be an inch deep in that. Stick with me, but a mile wide. And what that means is they're doing vending machines, they're doing MLM, they're doing network marketing, they're selling this business, they're selling this product, they're doing all of these different things, but it's only an inch deep. There's no root, right? What you
Right,
should do is be an inch wide, so have one thing that you focus on, but a mile deep. So go as deep as you can on that one thing and
right.
think about, hey, I do book publishing. What are other ways that I can make money with book publishing that keeps me focused and keeps me in alignment? If it doesn't have anything to do with book publishing, guess what? It don't have anything to do with me.
I like
When
it.
I made that shift, that's when I started making the most money. Okay. So as I've grown my book publishing company, I said, who are my favorite clients? Who do I enjoy working with the most? And that is the athletes. So I've
Of
created a
course.
whole division focusing strictly on athletes, and that's who we're targeting in this
Mm.
new division. I've created a whole new marketing campaign just to attract athletes, and I'm going for the athletes who were former pro athletes that everybody didn't know their name. They're not getting pursued by a traditional publishing company. Nobody's talking to them. Former college athletes who never got their shot at the NFL, and sports coaches. So my new division is going to focus on them. Why? Because they need something else. Like you said, they want to launch speaking careers, and that book is going to help launch their speaking career, make them more visible, give them more credibility, and be able to get more expertise so they can go out here, even though they have that tag of NFL or NBA. This gives them credibility, and they're going to be able to charge more to go speak, and they're going to be able to make more. Because a lot of times, especially if you're starting out, a company may not even have any money for a speaker's fee, but they have a resource budget. You can tap into that resource budget and make 5 to 10 grand for them purchasing books for everybody that's going to be listening to your speech. Now I'm dropping jewelry right there.
Yeah.
If I don't care what male that's watching this, if you're doing any type of speaking, coaching, and you don't have a book, you're losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I just proved that to you because there's people that want to book you or want to bring you in that you may contact, and they don't have a budget for that. They can't even write that off. But that resource budget, they have to spend that. And they can purchase, if they just purchase 300 books from you at $15, that's 5 grand. You tell me you won't go speak somewhere for free, but you're gonna walk away with a check for 5 grand.
Y'all hear that? Y'all listen to this man. He's giving you
So
the
that's what
jewels.
I do. That's what I do. So that's something new that I'm working on. We just created the new division. You're gonna see it. I'm gonna be launching it soon. Just got the logo back. But yeah, sticking in my one thing, focusing on my one thing. Other than that one thing, I'm using this vehicle, remember, to
Right.
buy more land, buy more real estate because they're not going to make any more, and it's passive income. I don't have to do anything. I have a property manager and they buy it. I have a crew, a construction crew. They fix them up. We
Mm.
get a system together. Every one of them looks the same. You don't have to ask me. This is the paint. This is the cabinets. This is the flooring. Hey, go do it. The new address is this. System, bro. Generational wealth, building out systems and processes. That's it, bro. Because when I'm 40. I just turned 42. By 45, I don't want to do nothing but stuff like this. I want to go speak and talk and help more people dreams come true, and play with my grandkids. My son is getting married the end of this year, so I'm sure I'm gonna be having grandkids soon.
No, that's wonderful, man. Congratulations to you. That's
Thank you,
definitely
man.
a big milestone, especially for you. And speaking with that generational wealth piece, to actually see your grandchildren and actually be able to enjoy them. A lot of times in our
Yeah,
communities, the parents spend so much time working that
yeah,
the only time they really get to see the grandchildren on the weekends when their kids have to work.
for sure. Yep.
You
But
know, it's
I'm gonna be able to pick them up, spoil them, and send them back home.
exactly. And so I'm really happy that you're able to embark on that endeavor, and much success to you. I know you have a lot of people that are watching and listening to what you're saying,
Yeah,
because a lot of people are kind of on that brink of, I've had enough.
yeah,
My job isn't paying me enough.
yeah.
With everything going on, with the bug, everyone has economic uncertainty, and so everyone's kind of looking for an answer of, how can I branch out? What's my opportunity going to be? And this could be it. And so, I have one last question for you.
Okay.
Are there any topics on a book that you will not touch?
Yeah, anything that goes against my beliefs as far as like devil worshiping and things like that. I don't do
Okay.
anything in relations to that. If I can't testify in church and said I published this, I don't do it.
Okay. So some you wouldn't personally your personal stamp on. Okay.
Right. And then, like I said, if I don't like you, I choose who I work with. I don't just work with anybody. You have to fit a certain criteria as far as like the type of person you are in order for me to publish you. In the beginning, it didn't matter because I just needed the money. I was like, I'll publish anybody. But as long as you are a person who, quote unquote, I can see myself being in a marriage with, because that's kind of what it's like being in business with somebody, you're kind of in a marriage with them. So
Yeah.
if I myself doing business with you, I don't take your money. I don't care how much money you're offering me. So we don't take everybody. They have to fill out an application to work with us, and they have to pitch me their book idea. And if I think it's a good fit for our program, I bring them on. If not, then I make other suggestions for them, because I'm not the only publisher out there. There's millions of companies out there who do what I do, but I'm the expert in what I do.
I love it. I love it. And for the guys who are watching, I really want you to, even if you are not ready to write a book just yet, to reach out to the publisher, Brother Kelly Cole, and just kind of get some expertise, kind of pick his brain. This man is in the industry. Like I said, he's published hundreds and hundreds of books for other people, published 50 on his own, and so it's not like he doesn't know what he's doing. And so he may be the catalyst to catapult into your new career.
For
And
sure,
so
man.
I really want all of you listening to at least go over to check him out. Just email him and say, hey, that you watched and you really enjoy what he's doing, just so he gets a positive feedback, and we can keep rocking. He may be able to bring hit more of his clientele on this channel, and say, when working with them, he was able to produce this book, and it took him to this journey. So let's expand and be really what's what I'm looking for. Just be welcoming to our guests, because they take the time out to spend the day with us and drop these jewels with us. And so just show them the gratitude. And again, make sure you guys like the video, so we can help bring more professional brothers into this space, so you guys can find out what careers you like and what may or may not be for you. One last thing before we go, just again, where can they contact you, and where your social media handles and all that good stuff.
All right, great. So if you're interested in writing a book and becoming a best-selling author, just go to bestsellerscircle.com. You get a free case study video over there, and that'll put you in my funnel. And after you watch the case study video, you'll have an opportunity to schedule a call with me. That's a great way to start. And then all of my social media handles are at Mr. Kelly Cole. And for my publishing company, it is Publishing Advantage Group. So, but yeah, you can connect with me online. I do a lot of daily content, videos, quotes, images, and things like that to keep you motivated, keep you on track, getting your book done, and creating generational wealth, man.
I love it. Well, again, I thank you for coming on. Actually, if you can stay with me after I end this broadcast, I do have just a quick question for you. But in the meantime, fellas, I appreciate you stopping by this Saturday afternoon. I will be having more guests during our Saturdays, bringing more content to you from the professional standpoint. So if you guys want to become better as far as entrepreneurs, or even for those who want to stay as employees, how to qualify for jobs, or how to get jobs that you may not qualify for, or how to get a raise, in your particular fields. But again, I'm here to provide those services for you, and I appreciate you watching. In the meantime, you guys enjoy the weekend, and you guys check with me next Saturday for our next guest. And in the meantime, keep studying and to keep grinding. You can be like Sam from Walmart, working just to get out of the house because your wife get on your nerves. But again, thank you so much for visiting, and you guys have a good one. And I'm gone.
Peace.